Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the elect and all the brothers pushing us to work in sincerity and truth. It's your brother Tamayan from GMS Toronto, coming at you with another video. So this is where we at in the world of the so-called black woman, right? Eve. This is where we at right now. This is where her mindset is at, right? And like I said yesterday, when these podcasts are nothing but the wiles of the devil, right? It's another avenue in which the devil uses, right? When I said devil, I'm talking about these Edomites, uses these Israelite entertainers and people who comes out of nowhere with a bunch of views, right? To push unrighteousness in the earth, you know? To push vulgarity, to push hypersexuality in the earth, right? And who's the one getting the brunt of all these of being bombarded with all these sexual innuendos and sexual acts, right? Is you Israelite women and children and men, right? Men, women, and children, right? Starting with the children, because they're at least an Israelite man will be like, hey, I'm not down with this shit, but like, as a child, this is your first let's say you're 13, 14 years old, this is your first experience with sex, and you want to learn about sex. Let's say you're afraid to talk to your parents or whatever, right? And you go on a podcast, or you come across this video, you're gonna think this is normal, right? But let me play a couple of seconds of this trash bag here, right? And you'll see what I'm talking about, because the Israelite woman needs to be put out of her misery. Right, this is what happens when you give the woman liberty to get abroad. This is what happens when you don't have your foot on her neck, so to speak. Right, this is what happens when you don't have a father in the house. This is what happens when the devil's ruling the world. Right, so check this out.
Well, let me ask you this, because you are colorful and sexually liberated, like even right.
Sexually liberated, right? The scripture talks about not giving this woman, right? I'm talking about an Israelite woman. Start with the girls, right? No passage, man. When you give a water passage to roam, what happens to the water? It just roams freely, right? With no cares. So the woman is likened onto that because she'll adapt to any environment that you put her in. If this is a very strict environment, guess what happens? She'll be conservative. So this environment is nothing more than a lawless, libertarian, Babylonian society, and the woman, right? Which she's falling for the damn okie doke again. So I'm gonna go right back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter.
Like even right now, you're going viral on Twitter for released OnlyFans that you were playing with yourself, and it's apparently 100% piss is what people are saying.
Yeah, it was 100% piss. I love pissing.
Okay.
I love to pee on myself.
Okay, and some of the comments are really disgusting.
Well, no, the thing is, I'm a disgusting person, so it's just like, people been knew that about me. I don't give a fuck. Y'all can keep posting my OnlyFans videos. I mean, I don't do OnlyFans no more.
But what do you say to them that say she's a terrible representation for black women? Stop posting her. She's disgusting.
I feel like when they say disgusting, they're not fucking lying. I feel like the people ain't, whatever you heard about me is the truth. I don't give a fuck. You know how you break all barriers? You break them by telling them everything.
Yeah.
So now that I told you everything, is no exposing. Like, it is what it is, bitch. I did OnlyFans during the pandemic. We were all fucked up. Some of y'all was sucking dick for free and still.
Okay, so I'll leave it right there. But this is the so-called black woman right now, man. This is she's drunk all the damn dregs from this what do you call it again? The feminism garbage that they've been fed, right? And the only thing that's gonna be the cleanser for all of these people are the missiles, right? 2/3 of our people, including women, right, gotta be destroyed, right? So let me start with Genesis, the 3rd chapter first, right? Genesis 3 and I'll start at 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord had made, and he said unto the woman, Yea, hath Yahweh said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden, right? And the woman said unto the serpent, Ye may eat of the tree of this garden, trees of the garden, right? But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahweh said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die, right? And that's what Eve is doing again. Well, she already did it, right? Esau, Edom, which is the serpent, has tricked her again into following his ways, into following his philosophies, into pretty much be rebellious against the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? In the form of witchcraft, because all of this is witchcraft, right? What she's doing is a form of witchcraft. Piss, bodily excrements, all these things is part of our witchcraft rituals, and they're literally doing this in front of your very eyes, so that you children, men, women, and children, can be corrupt. Starting with the children, of course. So you see, she doesn't have any shame anymore, right? Her mind is totally gone off into the abyss of wickedness. She swallowed down wickedness, right? All the way down, man, and she's gonna vomit it up. She has to vomit it up, because that's what goes with that society. Of what do you call it again? Prostitution, right? And this is Babylon, because when you go into Babylon, there's a point where where every woman had to go into the temple, right, and have orgies before she gets married. So this is the ritual that she's playing out right now in front of her very eyes, okay? And she wants all your children, because make no mistake about it, this is not for you. This is for your children. This is the agenda that's being pushed forward for the next generation, right? And it says here, and the serpent said unto the woman, lest ye shall not surely die, which shouldn't die right away. Yet for Yahweh doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, that your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Right now, guess what the black woman knows? Guess what our people knows? Evil, right? That's all they know. And when the woman saw the tree was good, which is the philosophy of this serpent, for food, and it was pleasant in the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, right? She took of the fruit and did eat, did eat thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So that's the same thing whatever this rapper name, Sukihana, did. Right now, guess what she's doing? She's bringing that philosophy back to the guy that she's doing all them videos with, okay? And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, which they knew they had done wrong, they had sinned, and they sewed fig leaves together and sewed themselves apron. So this represents the ways of the other nations, okay? They're trying to put on another covering, which is the way of Esau, Edom, man. Right now is the way of Esau, Edom that these jakes have on, right? So there shall not be Salakia, because the first part of this goes with Sukihana. This is Deuteronomy 23:17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, right? Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel, right? So Sukihana is literally a whore, right? And this is the philosophy that's being pushed on our women. Okay, so you cannot be a pimp. You cannot pimp out an Israelite woman, but she's already went down that path, right? I mean, I'm not the one to say that she's gonna die, because all the women that's gonna be saved from this side are gonna be saved through childbirth. But do you picture Sukihana not taking the chip in that day, right? She's literally of this world, right? So she's an example of why this place got to go and why 2/3 of our people need to be destroyed, right? Because their mind is sown to do evil, right? Their mind is sown to corrupt. They have been more wicked than the wicked. Let me get another scripture. Give her no liberty to get abroad, man. Yep, this is Ecclesiasticus 25 and 25. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gather abroad. Right? There's a part when it says she will open her quiver to every arrow. That's also in that, but I don't have a lot of time. Right? And that's exactly what, the philosophy of this world, of Esau, Edom, right, allows these women to do. But this whole feminism, sexual liberation garbage that you women are doing right now is going to come back to haunt you. Because now you're polluting yourselves. Now men don't want to marry you anymore, right? Men just want sex, right? And that's literally taking away from you in that day having a man of the Lord, or a man in general, right, to protect you, right? Because in that day, men, if a man sees Sukihana, you think he's gonna want to save Sukihana, man, from these guys who's gonna try and ravish her? She might even like it. You never know, right? But she's a stomped down hoe, and she's not hiding it, right? Let me get one more scripture, then I get out of here, because I'm all over the place with this video also. But the point, the gist of this matter is, our women are not supposed to be like this, right? 2/3 of our people have gone in the way of Cain, man, right? Man, woman, and child. What's the scripture that I was looking for? I think those are the scripture that I wanted. So I'll leave it there, right? I'll make it quick. So, as you can see, like I said, I made a video last night about these podcasts, and they're also wiles of the devil. So you have to be, wise to know when you're being used and manipulated to push an agenda. These people know that you're being used and you're being paid off also, right? That's why you see them coming out with all these things, because once upon a time, the black woman, yes, she was always, promiscuous or whatever in this time, but she never used to come out on Front Street like that. Right? They never used to come out on Front Street and and put these things out there. Now here they are. They have all kind of podcasts promoting, so-called black sexuality and all that garbage. But that's all gonna lead to destruction, right? Wise in her own eyes. Wise in their own eyes. Isaiah 5 and woe unto them, 5:21. Little wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. So that one was Proverbs. Be not wise in thine own eyes, fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with substance and with first fruits of all thine increase. Right? So when you're wise in your own eyes, you're pretty much leading yourself. It's that whole saying when you say, God knows my heart. God knows your heart is evil, right? These people, when they do all this garbage, right, they think that, that they're going to be acquitted because, they're not being put down for the sin that they're committing right away, right? A lot of women are going to be put to death. Let's get Ezekiel 9. Ezekiel 9, and I'm going to just get out of here. Because at the end of the day, this is all about the men, right? The Lord dealing with the men of His people, right? Because the women of people in this Babylon the Great, a lot of them are not going to make it out of here. Why? Because they got to be a sacrifice, right? Because there are Israelite women all over the world, out of America. So the majority of women over here are going to be destroyed, right? This is Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, where all you Israelites are, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, means kill righteously, Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids. These are the girls, and little children, and women. So maids, young age of marriage, children, right? Men, boys and girls, and women. You women are not exempt. Sukihana and her all her kinds alike are not exempt from what's about to happen. You can push your agenda on your podcasts, on your little TV shows that you have, but it's done. Okay, the judgment is set and it's coming. But come not near any men whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary, and then they began at ancient men which were before the house. So I'll say all praises to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to all the brothers pushing his work in sincerity and truth, to the elect. Shalom.